All righty, benvenuti everyone. Saverio Nestico. I am the president of Filitalia International, the seventh president of Filitalia International, here in Philadelphia, home base of the organization. For many of you that don't know about the organization, it's a nonprofit volunteer organization founded in 1987. My father is Dr. Pasquale Nestico is the founder and president emeritus of the organization. I was just elected as the seventh president of the organization, volunteer organization. I'm a volunteer. You're a volunteer. And so if, prior to serving now as the president of the organization, I was the vice president for 4 years, served as a president of one of the largest chapters of the organization for 2 years, was the chair of the La Festa della Repubblica committee for about 10 years. So all on the volunteer basis, but nevertheless, the Filitalia International is an international organization with close to 25 chapters throughout the United States and in Italy. And so these messages that I'm going to be bringing to you are going to encompass a little bit about the organization, talk a little bit about the organization, but most importantly, I want to introduce to you some amazing people of the organization to let you know that this organization, international and volunteer, is doing some incredible things, incredible programs, scholarship programs that just opened up this season for this year as well. So if you're a member of the organization for at least 2 years, you can qualify for scholarship programs that we do. We have language classes that the next upcoming courses will start in September. So conversation and courses as well, intermediate all the way to advanced levels, all done online, virtually. We also offer group classes as well for those that want to be in person. Translation services, dual citizenship services. We are, as I mentioned, based in Philadelphia, and our home base is Philadelphia, with our Language and Cultural Center in South Philadelphia, which also houses the History of Italian Immigration Museum. Beautiful museum. If any of you are available to come take a look at it, it's worth the trip, local or from afar. Bi-level boutique style museum that has been open for several years. So that's a great acknowledgement of the organization, as well as the history of all the Italian presence throughout this country and worldwide as well. We have an international exchange program. This year we have three students that have come already this year. We have 2 more coming in September as well. We do so many humanitarian efforts through La Vigilia with the Christmas Seal program as well. But there's so much happening within the organization, and please, below you'll see my Calendly link to set up a call with me. I'm hoping that someone out there will want to set up a call and have a conversation with me about the organization and getting further involved within the organization as well. But nevertheless, today we're going to speak to a very special friend. She is the second vice president of Filitalia International, Janis Morelli. So we're going to invite her into the conversation so we can talk a little bit about some of the amazing things that she's working on within the organization as well. And so as she connects, we'll let her settle in, and then we'll talk to Janis. There she goes. Avocatessa. How are you? How are you? How are you, Janis?
I'm fine, Saverio. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. So for everyone, I want to introduce to you a dear friend of mine, a dear friend of the organization, Janis Morelli. She's the second vice president of Filitalia. She's also the president of the Hunterdon County, New Jersey chapter as well. So Janis, I told everyone a little bit about the organization, and the purpose of this is to understand about the leaders of the organization. All this work that we do doesn't happen by accident, and it happens on a volunteer basis. And so please, if you could, tell everyone a little bit about yourself, your family, your background, and some of the things you're working on within the organization.
Okay. Thank you, Saverio. This is a wonderful opportunity to speak to everyone. I want to first say how surprised I was when I received the phone call from your father, Dr. Pasquale, that I was going to be second vice president. I was very surprised and very excited because I knew I'd be serving with you and the very famous first vice president, Robert Petroni, who has done wonderful work on Columbus and the research. I admire all the people I work with. In fact, one of the things that came ringing true for me was the words that Paula Bonavita spoke at the convention. She said she was among giants, and that's exactly the way I feel too. In fact, those words were in my speech as well. You, your father, the founder, have made people feel very special when they contribute to Filitalia. You give your undivided attention to all of us. So any contribution is very much appreciated. My chapter started years ago. In fact, it started way before it became a charter. It started really as an Italian language class. In fact, this might be a formula or a recipe for other chapters and how they can start, either in language, Italian language, or cooking, or even bocce, whatever it is. Like-minded Italian people get together, play, enjoy each other's company, and the next thing you know, you become a chapter. We had a very interesting Italian teacher at one time who would teach us all about the Italian immigrants that came to this country and how they contributed. Many of us never realized what a wonderful heritage we have in this country. Like for example, the Pizzarelli brothers, Olo Bianco. Federico told us about Arturo Di Marco. And my favorite was Philip Mazzei, who was a friend of Thomas Jefferson. And not many Americans realize that those world famous words, all men are created equal, came from an Italian because he was friends with Thomas Jefferson. Mm. So eventually, your father visited our Italian class and invited us to become Filitalia. And eventually we did in October of 2020, right in the middle of COVID. Amazing, amazing. But somehow we did it. Somehow we got the paperwork together. We invited people to become members. Practically 100% of the Italian class went right into the Filitalia Huntington County. So we had a self-made membership base right there. Excellent. And we all knew each other. We all enjoyed each other's company. And now we were elevated to Filitalia. And it was really very nice. I'd like to speak about a few of them. Two of our members are professional Italian professors. We have Rosemarie Di Filippo and we have Lou Thomas, that both are Italian teachers and now also board members. Then we have our wonderful vice president, Federica, who was born in Rome and who also writes cultural articles for us. In fact, it was her daughter, Cecilia, who won our very first scholarship last year. Wonderful things happen after you are a chapter for at least 2 years. Then you qualify for certain things like the scholarship. And she was our first winner. And it was very, very exciting to us. So we also have some very incredible members. We have Dr. Gilda Loro Baldessari, who was knighted. She's the honorable from the Italian consulate. She has done remarkable work when it comes to integrating Italian-American heritage into the curriculum, the school curriculum. She worked on it for over 19 years. Amazing, amazing contributions to our heritage. Her daughter, Dr. Mary Roro, also a lot of contributions, and she serenades us quite frequently with the viola and Italian songs. So we're very lucky to have such wonderful members as they are. We also have my personal advisors, Joan Galatello Collison and Joe Badalato, because they have been with Filitalia since before it was Filitalia. So whenever I'm troubled or I have something that I have to work out, I go to them and they give me some very good advice. One of the wonderful things that was a total surprise and a benefit to Filitalia is many of us travel to Italy at least once a year, and some of us for extended periods of times, not just a week or two. Sometimes it's even longer because many of us have family there. The benefit that came to me was that once you're a member of Filitalia, you visit Italy and you contact some of the chapter presidents there, and you have instant family.
Isn't that the truth? Absolutely.
It was such a surprise. We were visiting Sorrento last year, And I contacted the president of the Napoli chapter, Michela Mortella, and her vice president, Antonetta Sorrentino. And they traveled the distance to come to meet us for dinner in Sorrento. But we became instant family. In fact, I call us the blonde sisters from Italy because we all have blonde hair. And it was just a wonderful experience. Now, I am planning to travel again in October, and I'm looking forward to meeting a brother. My brother, I hopefully, is Niccolo Perone, because we're going to be in Calabria. So
Excellent.
I'm very much looking forward to meeting him in person. And
so for those that don't know, Nicola is not only the past president of Vibo Valentia chapter in Calabria, but is also the assistant executive director for the Filitalia Foundation, one of our 3 employees of the organization. So he's an amazing leader. And Michele, as you mentioned as well, all incredible people. The families that the relationships we've been able to foster internationally is really what separates us as an organization from many. And our language program. But please continue, Janis.
Yes. So not only do I want to meet him personally, but I'm hoping to buy one of his books, because he compiles the stories of Italian immigration into the book called Il Sogno Americano. So I'm hoping to go there and also get a signed copy.
Absolutely. I'm sure he would love to do that.
I think so too. I'm also hoping to visit Mina Capuzzi, the Boiano chapter. Mm-hmm. And the reason why, not only is she a delightful person with many communications via email, but her son Franco visited America in January, right after the Copa Mayo. And he was hosted by one of our members and board members, Rosemary Di Filippo. So we spent about 2 weeks with him, getting to know him and his own heritage and what he does in Italy. We already miss it very much. So Excellent. We're hoping in October we meet him, Franco, and his mother, Mina.
And let me jump in right there, Janis. I'm sorry, but Franco was one of, for those earlier, before you hopped on, I talked about the international exchange program, and Franco was one of the exchange students from the Boiano Molise chapter. Was with me in Florida during the Italian American Future Leaders Conference in Florida, which was incredible. But yes, and then he was with your chapter for a long time too, after spending a week with me. But he's incredible, as many as the other intern exchange students that are coming within the organization as well.
So we miss him very much, because we welcomed him as not only a chapter member for Huntington County, but we felt that he was a member of our family. So we look forward to seeing him on his native turf, so to speak. Something else that you mentioned before about Filitalia being very unique, and it is, Saverio. It's unlike many other Italian-American organizations. We do more than just get together and eat Italian food and maybe play bocce, although those are very enjoyable and we'd like to do them. Filitalia is international, and it's also recognized by the Italian ministry, the ente promotore. I hope I said that right. And that elevates us in the hierarchy of Italian-American organizations. So it is an honor to be part of Filitalia. That's the way I look at it. It is a privilege that I am here and that I'm serving you, Saverio, in this legacy year.
Janis, it's an absolute honor and a pleasure to work with you. Janis is a great legal mind as well. And so, Janis is working beautifully to maintain the consistency of her chapter, to maintain and elevate the presidency of the organization as well, through the board of directors and all the wonderful programs that we have. And so for those of you listening, Janis, any last words that you want to say to anyone?
Sure. I just want to encourage people, try to attend the gala. That's in November. In fact, it's November 5th this year. Even if you could do it just once, there's a beautiful banner that is over that gala, Italian Roots and American Dreams. And to me, those 4 words say it all. And when I look at you and I look at your wonderful father, I see it being fulfilled. So I always say, whenever I toast wine, Viva Filitalia.
If you feel that, Janis is incredible, and just like myself and many others in the organization, Janis is a volunteer. She donates her time, her money, her sweat, her tears, and her love for the Italian language and culture. And so, if anyone is interested in getting further involved, please drop it in the information below, in the post below, is my Calendly link to set up a call with me. And if you want to set up a call with Janis, she's always available as well, as a tremendous leader of the organization. So please, thank you, everyone. Janis, thank you for your time. And for those out there, thank you for your time as well. We'll see you soon. Ciao, ciao.
Grazie, Saverio. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.